Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to my video today. My name is Brian. Getting Through Life is my YouTube channel. I talk about mainly a lot of things about my 2019 Infiniti Q50 Signature Edition, tuning, tires, catch can, AMS air filter kit, let's see what else, Z1 Motorsports, lots of different things, exhaust, catback exhaust, a lot of different things that I've just come to add to this car and be interested in. So today I want to talk about something to do with the air filters, and because here in Texas it's very, very, very hot and humid. And as we all should know, these turbo cars start to struggle when it gets really, really hot outside and humid, with intake air temperatures. So I shared a little piece, let me see, I don't remember what it's called, but you can go just post a photo on YouTube and it just highlights something you want to touch on, where the other day I was out driving around just doing a general errand, and it's like 100 to 102, 103 degrees here without the humidity factored in. And I was tinkering around with my air filters, and I had taken my shroud off and I had it sitting over there. So it was really, really hot yesterday, so I went and drove to do an errand that was about an hour, about 40 minutes one way and back. And at one point, I wasn't driving at highway speeds, but I was driving 30, 40 miles an hour and hitting some lights and then getting up to 30, 40 miles per hour for a couple miles and then, stopping for a light. I saw through my Ecutech app on my phone, I saw that my intake air temp got up to 154 degrees, and that it would drop down when I would get to about 130, not 130, but 30 to 35, 40 miles an hour, and it would drop down to about 125. But then I got home, I opened my hood, and my shroud was off. And I was like, oh man, no wonder. 154 degrees air temperature under my hood. So that's a pretty good indication that you do not want to have these semi-popular air filter kits, or that have just the air filters sitting in your engine bay. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But anyways, even having this setup with them being closed, I am seeing intake temperatures of 130 degrees. So 20 degrees cooler, which 130 degrees, 135, 125 is insane. That's the air that is coming through the front of the car. So it's 130 degrees out here in the front of the car on the highway with all the cement. So I'm just thinking, I got to try to combat ways, other than spending a bunch of money and adding, coolant reservoir tanks and everything, which I would like to do at some point. But, everything just costs a bunch of money, and it's just certain time for those things to happen or maybe not happen. So one thing I was looking at, and I know, is that with the sealing of your stock airboxes or your AMS airboxes or any of the other ones that are now coming out, because they're coming to their senses and realizing that an open air filter is not the way to go, an totally inferior way to get cold air into the motor. So I noticed, and I'll try to get to my point real quick, that these don't fit precisely I wouldn't expect it to. That would be very hard for a company to make something, mass produced that fit perfectly. So, and I'll pop this off real quick. I've just kind of been wanting to address this, and I finally got to it yesterday or the day before. Let me just pop these off. Man, this one's fighting me. Just gonna put these here, and I didn't put all my little catch latches or whatever you want to call these little things back on the car, because I didn't want to. I knew I was going to be taking it back off. But I think this is something that can be addressed. Are the air boxes sucking in still a little bit of hot air, 200, 250 degrees? when you're running the car, not at 70 miles per hour, but you're driving around town, is it's sucking 10% of a 200-degree heat under here, 250-degree heat into your air boxes. So I wanted to come up and make sure these were sealed a little bit better, or 100% better if I could get it to that way. Because when you install these, you have a little bit of room to pivot these and move these around, and versus, because I know this, because I have adjusted mine and twisted them and I know, let me pull this off real carefully because I've redone my fitting over here. Make sure I got all my clips off. Okay, I do. This one is fitting really, really tight, and I'm going to show you what I did. This one just pulls up really easily. This one is actually, and I don't want to tear it up, and it also feels kind of like, okay, it's working good. Okay, here's what I did. And I'm going to have to just show you this and look at my video and make sure. Okay. It kind of did the same thing. As you can see right here, and you may not be able to see, but you're going to have to take my word for it. Let me move over here so we got better light. The factory piece comes with this foam around here, but this foam easily gets torn and manipulated and pushed down, as you can see. And even here on the back, it hasn't even been touched. So there's a gap right here. Whereas up here in the front, it's been mushed down. So it's fitting tight in these areas, but open in this area. So heat can come past there and go into your intake. So raising the temperature. So what I did, and it was the same on this side. This side was getting torn up. So I peeled this off and tried to do something a little bit more durable. And this is a work in progress. So I went to the hardware store and got some molding, or let me get my terminology right, or some weather stripping that is rubber, and it says it can sustain heat up to 140 degrees, which may be too hot for under here, so it may deteriorate, but it's a rubber. And then I put that on here, and it's squishy. So there's actually air, like a straw. This surface has air in it, and it's rubber. So, and it's also bigger and more resilient than this foam that tears. And I'll just go ahead and peel some of that off. I mean, it just comes off. So I put this on, and as you can see, when I pulled this off, this is almost like glued. Make sure it's in the video. This was a lot more difficult to pull out because it's actually a seal. And so you're gonna, as you can see, it distorted it a little bit right there like it did on that side. So I may need to, not take this off as much. But this is going to create a better seal so that the cold air coming in through the front of the car is purely going to be that cooler air instead of the engine heat under the hood with the hood closed while you're driving. So I'm going to duplicate this. This is not easy to pull off to get the residue off. But it takes, a good 30 minutes to an hour just sitting there scratching with your nail and using different chemicals that you don't want to damage the plastic. But get that off. I've also considered, before I seen the results of this, I'm not real keen on that being pushed down like that. That means my airbox needs to be pushed forward just a little bit more and then tightened down. But I've also got some felt, and I'm going to show you real quick how I know the felt works really, really well. Okay, so hang on. Okay, so funny as it is, this is the dog door that I have for my dog. And like I said, it is so freaking hot outside that I wanted to come up with a weather stripping with this particular dog door. I didn't want to spend $300 on a dog door. And I really, really liked this dog door. It was more affordable. But even though this has this flexible rubber on the end, which is supposed to seal up the sides, this was still letting, here comes the dog, this was still letting in a lot of heat. I could actually stand here inside a foot away and feel the heat just coming in from the sides of this. So perfect example, airbox. You're trying to cut out the hot air coming in and contaminating or skewing the cooler air. So this is a felt strip that I got at the hardware store, and it comes in sheets, and I just cut these out, and this has been a year on here with him coming in and out, brushing on this, and putting a lot of wear on here and here, and this is held up beautifully, and it actually seals. There is no hot air, and this door flows back and forth really, really easy, and it does not hinder the door opening. So this is a perfect material to otherwise put on the intake there. It's just not as thick, so I would have to put one of these on the shroud side and then one of these on inside the airbox, so that hopefully they were thicker and they meshed up really, really well, and this wears very, very well. Boop. So you can see my door. This I mean is 100% works wonderfully, and it cuts out all the heat. Even though it's 101 outside, it's 75 in here, and you don't feel any of the radiant heat coming in through the gap. So when I move this to the side like that, you can feel the heat coming in. So I just wanted to share that part with you. I'm trying to make this work, the weather stripping work, and see how that comes out on the car. And and then if I don't like that, then I may go the felt route. But I'm really excited, pleased is a better word, how the weather stripping piece fit in here and sealed this really, really well, and made it where there was no air coming in of this hot engine bay. So hopefully that helps someone. I know there's probably some other people, that are like me, that are thinking that would be very, very beneficial, or they thought about doing something like this. And I just like to share stuff that I do. It makes content, and I was doing it anyways. So, we all want cooler intake temperature. I mean, that's the starting point of cat temps, compressed air temperatures and everything else down the road. This is the starting point. So the cooler you can keep this air, the cooler the intake charge temp, and the more performance that you can get out of your VR30 twin turbo motor. So very helpful topic, I think. And there's my air boxes. Sorry, my finger's getting in the way. And there's my shroud. There's the weather stripping, and you can just kind of get an idea of what I did to put that on there. The downside of this system here is this tape is not very sticky, and it's not very durable. So anytime you put stress on this piece, you're going to wear out the stickiness of that. Which here it looks like that is the apparent case. I might be able to stick that back up, but here this stuff is definitely failing very quickly. And again, on the back side, it looks like it's been compressed, so it's a tight fit there, but not a tight fit here. It doesn't even look like anything has touched this. So again, take what you will from this, and if you like what I talked about, anything, I'll try to touch more on things of this nature to help our platform. Then like and subscribe, share, comment. I love comments, and I'll see you on the next video, and have a good day and a good evening here. So see you later. All right, I thought I'd just show a quick video of this here. This is the type of weather stripping I went with. I mean, I'm sure different hardware stores carry all kinds of different types. Let me get my hand on the camera a little better so I can hit the autofocus a bit better. See how it's got a little air gap there? I mean, this is just one option, and the downside again is just this is not super industrial sticky. I would just say it's not where it needs to be, but it is sticky to some extent. But that's the downfall of this little piece right here. But other than that, I think it's going to seal pretty good. So I just wanted to bring you that video of this piece. This is just a small little piece. It comes in long strips. Okay.